I remember you worked on a project with Randy Bachman once, based out of Toronto. Talk to me a little bit about how that came. You were mixing like bi-coastal Rick Emmet, who was Guitarist of the Year for Triumph at the time, against Randy Bachman on Taking Care of Listeners, yeah, which is a derivative of Taking Care of Business. Tell me how that came about.
Well, this is really a cool story because you're in it. And,
well, that's why I brought
your
it
record,
up.
of course.
My favorite topic, me. So.
But it was you and Gene were working on your album for Sony Music.
Jesse and Gene.
Jesse and Gene.
We hosted the #1 morning show in Canada at the time, Classic Rock. We were the bad boys of rock and roll radio out of Toronto.
Yeah.
And of course, when we put the album out, we said, we need an accomplice, somebody that's just as evil as us, so we conscripted you.
Well, I mean, I remember you saying, "Okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a remake of the Bachman Turner Overdrive song, Taking Care of Business, but we're gonna call it Taking Care of Listeners." And it was kind of a very, very funny, tongue-in-cheek version of the song. But we collected the who's who of the Canadian music industry. I mean, Rick Emmet from Triumph, Mike Levine, Gil Moore from Triumph, I believe. Larry Gowan was on keyboards.
Partland Brothers.
Partland Brothers.
And we had to get Sony and BTO, because that was a legendary stadium rock song, Taking Care of Business. Still is one of the biggest rock songs in history. We had to get everybody to sign off on it, and we did.
Yeah, and Randy Bachman was going to play on the cover version of his own song, which is remarkable.
And you played sax.
I played sax.
Yeah.
And so I remember one day getting a phone call. And it was at the house, and the phone rings, and I picked it up. He says, "Hello, is this Mark?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "It's Randy Bachman." "Oh, hey, Randy, how are you?" He said, "Look, where do you want me to send the tape?" I said, "Oh, right, tape." So he'd laid his guitar parts down, and then fresh off of that, he sent it over to me, and I went into a studio and laid down my sax parts, and then sent it back to Toronto, where it was mixed.
Where it was mixed, yeah.
It was incredible.
And that song was #1 again for many, many weeks in Toronto, only this time it was called Taking Care of Listeners. And it was great. You had Rick Emmet wailing away with fuzz on his guitar, and Randy Bachman coming in with his clean licks on the guitar, and you playing sax, Gowan on piano, Partland Brothers singing. I mean, it was just a cool thing all the way around.